What's better than a money making method that you and a friend can do with absolutely no setup and both make 15 million coins per hour? The only limiting factor is some coins for your initial investment. But other than that, as long as you're Skyblock level 7 and you can access the bazaar, you can do this. And to be honest, there probably couldn't be a more perfect time to actually go ahead and do this method. The extended season of Jerry is pretty much just ended after Christmas time, meaning that prices are in your favour. Now, this whole method is actually just simply opening red gifts. But to most people, for money, that kind of sounds a bit idiotic. And yeah, you'll probably have to persevere with your inventory being a little bit clogged up. Maybe items going into your stash. And a personal deleter, to be honest, is probably most definitely needed. Otherwise, you probably might lose your mind. But let me explain. As with most things in Hypixel Skyblock, pretty much everything has a chance to drop. Some things have a relatively high chance to drop, and other things have a relatively low chance to drop. RNG definitely plays a big part in this money making method. All we can really do is go off the average chances. Now, there's some items here that are completely disregardable, that will never really be worth anything, and are probably not really worth even counting into our calculations. Before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS, it gets yourself 5% off. Also, if you've not subscribed to the channel and you do watch these videos, make sure to subscribe. And you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Now, each red gift at the moment is 32k if you're going to be patient, or 37k if you're not going to be patient. So what we have here is a breakdown of basically the valuable items that you can get from red gifts and how much on average you're actually going to gain per gift. This is obviously calculated directly from the chances. So 5.1k from coins, 1.8k in snowman pets, 1.2k from snowsuit pieces, 9.9k from snow minions, 6.5k from golden gifts, 1.5k from Krampus helmets, 7.5k from holy dice, and 420 coins from cryo powder shards, okay? And that's disregarding potions, skins, furniture, runes, etc. So that means roughly, give or take, you'll be making around about 34,000 coins per gift. And of course, like I said before, do this with a friend because you get the exact same loot. So what you're actually making there is not 34k per gift, it's 68k per gift. And if you're to split the investment in the first place, then of course it makes sense that you can just keep whatever you get. Assuming that gifts at the moment are around about 37k to insta-buy, then you're going to make roughly around about 30k profit per gift, or 15k each. Like I said before, this is RNG based. So what I mean by that is if you just open 10 gifts, you're probably not going to see the results. You're probably either going to make, well, you're going to make more or less than the average. The more gifts that you open, the more consistent, in theory, the average money you're making is going to actually be. And while sure, you could open one gift and get really lucky and get 1 million coins, what are the odds that that's going to happen every single time? But how many gifts can you open per hour? How much money can you make per hour? Well, there are various spots around the map where you can literally instantly open gifts. Have you seen the one where basically somebody stands right here, and then the person stands down here, looks directly down in the corner? Yeah. Now, there are many places around the hub where you can instantly open gifts. The idea is that essentially the person that is receiving the gifts stands 2 blocks underneath the person who is giving the gifts, ideally directly underneath. So there are multiple different places to do this. And don't get me wrong, it takes a little bit of time to get it right, but once you get it right, it is ridiculously overpowered. Usually you can only place like, what, 10 gifts at once and then you kind of hit a cooldown. Even going that way, you can still open about 4k gifts per hour, which is still not bad. But with a little bit of practice, if you get this method down to a T, you can be opening around about 10k gifts per hour, providing that you do get it right. And 10k gifts per hour at 15k profit per gift each is 15 million coins per hour, just from simply opening gifts. I said at the start of the video that the only real factor in this money making method is the fact that you have coins to invest initially. Now, of course, if you're opening these gifts with a friend, then you can split the cost. So for instance, if you bought 10k gifts between you, I mean that's 409 mil, so what that's about 204 mil each. If you create maybe an offer and you're willing to wait a bit of time to do this for an hour, then you're going to pay 322 mil, which is around about 161 mil each, and you're both going to profit roughly around about 15 million coins, considering, you know, 10k gifts is a pretty large sample. And sure, it's going to take you a while to sell everything, and you know, if it's too much effort and too much hassle, then fair enough. You know, not to mention if you did put a sell offer up and you got them for 32k each, then you would be making what? That's at about at least 2 or 3 million coins more per hour. On top of this, as a nice bonus, you're actually going to make 190k skill XP per hour. Now, I can't tell you which skill it's going to be because that's kind of random. And sure, that this method is not going to be for people who have billions and billions and billions of coins. It's kind of probably not worth your time and a lot of hassle to sell everything. However, if you're not a relatively high Skyblock level and you have a little bit of money to put in at the start with a friend, then you can actually make this into a consistent money-making method. Now sure, I would assume the more gifts you buy, the price is eventually going to rise a little bit. But even if you are putting sell offers in, I mean, this is profitable all the way up to like 40 million coins per hour. You're still going to be making 14 mil an hour, even if they are 40k coins. I will just make it clear in terms of the RNG, and I guess in terms of the sample size. Say for instance, if you are to do one dungeon, I don't know, if you just do a floor 7, you drop absolutely nothing, and you think, oh, this is just not worth it. I did a floor 7, I've dropped nothing. Even if you do that for an hour, you know, floor 7 can be quite unforgiving sometimes. In the same period of time, maybe somebody else does one floor 7 and drops a Necron's handle, but in that hour they also drop a scroll as well. Does that mean floor 7 is really good for money? Well, maybe. But you've not observed that, have you? And that's purely because a sample size of 1 hour for something like floor 7 is just not big enough. You need to do more than that to actually see if it's good for money or not. So what I'm trying to say is if you go ahead and, I don't know, buy maybe like 500 red gifts and open them with a friend and lose money, then that's perfectly okay. You need to open more to actually see the results. At the same time, you could open 1 gift and profit massively, or open 10 gifts and profit massively. But the numbers are right. On average, you will profit around about 15 million coins per hour. Now, obviously, kind of depends on the prices of everything, but roughly what we're looking at the moment, that's what you're going to make. If you open these gifts for long enough, then you'll make 15 mil an hour. In actual fact, just check your winter sack. It's just been that huge extended period of Jerry, and if you have any in there that you forgot about, then make sure to open them, because that's free. In terms of opening these gifts with a friend, I would probably suggest that you both just buy the same amount of gifts. At the end of the day, you might trust someone, but you don't want to get scammed giving them coins to buy these gifts. If you both buy the same amount and both gift each other the same amount, then that just makes complete sense to do, really. Anyway, regardless of that, let me know in the comments. Are you going to try this red gift method? Is it just not worth it for you? You know, that could potentially be it. But I guess if you're early in your game, it might be worth a try. I wouldn't really say it's game breaking for those later game players. And of course, just check the price of the gifts before you buy them, because they potentially could change. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.